Okay, making my way on up the mountain here, and this mine site had a series of drift mines going all the way up the side of the mountain here, and they were going after the ore seam. And so you had a gravity plane system operated here. There would be hoist operator way up there on the mountain, and you can't even tell it's so eroded and 120 something years ago, but there used to be a set of tracks, dual set of tracks coming all the way down the mountain. And you can kind of see the tramway bed right there. Anyway, it would go all the way down there, the mine carts, and when the full mine carts would go down, the empties would be brought up using the full weight of the loaded mine cars going down. It would allow the empties to be sent up. But anyway, they had, like I said, what's called a gravity plane system. Didn't require any serious maintenance. About a 1,000-foot hoist cable rope, maybe 1.25 inches. And like I said, you would have an operator up there on the top of the mountain. And anyway, the loaded mine cars would go down. The empties would come up in the process using the weight of the loaded ore cars. And there would be a huge loading dock down there. And there would be open rail cars that would be stacked up under the huge dock. And there would be these chutes and self-acting tipples, and the miners that were working down there, the people employed by the mines, they would take the loaded mine carts and then just tip them over, empty the contents into the waiting rail car. So there's a whole series of them going all the way up the mountain here. And this is another one of them right here. This one, remember, right here, collapsed. Like I said, all these drift mines went back a good ways, and every one of them are, the further you go up the mountain, because you got less coverage on top, you're gonna have collapses. So, but that's what one of them looks like right there. So, and there's some more going on up the mountain, and you can see this is the ore seam right here. This is what they were after. So, okay. Okay, this is just another one of the drift mines right here. This one's collapsed. And it's a full collapse right in there. And these drift mines went all the way through to the other side. That was like a standard mining procedure. They would just, why stop? Keep going after the ore seam, and they would just tunnel straight on through to the other ravine, about 1,000 feet away, on the other side of the finger up here. So anyway, a lot of trees down. Probably as a result of some straight line winds. Okay, this is one of the larger of the drift mine openings right here. And you see that's the ore seam right there. And this was a big entrance right here. Take a quick look inside. It's collapsed right up here, but it is pretty roomy. You can see See, there's just a complete collapse right up in there. But this went all the way through the mountain, came out on the other side. So, and we'll just keep making our way on up the mountain here. And I think there's at least one or two more going up the mountain. But anyway, great piece of early mining history here. Still a lot of it still perfectly preserved after 120 years. So, all right. Okay, there might be one more just nearing the top of the mountain, but this is another one. Well, they all kind of look the same after a while. But since I'm up here, I might as well go ahead and just video it and take some photos. And you can see there's not a lot of top cover up here, so these upper mines, you know, after they were abandoned, they were usually the first ones to go, but they also did what was called a retreating pillar method. And if they were going to close this mine, the miners working their way back to the main entrance would start taking down what's called the pillars or the support walls to get that valuable ore out if they know they were going to abandon it. And most likely that's what happened to a lot of these upper mines. You know, in addition to them collapsing, the miners just collapsed them on their own after they extracted that valuable ore from the pillars and the support walls. So you can see, actually, well, I can't really see it in the sun, but oh, let's see, right here. Yeah, there's actually some bottom roots from a tree up atop. So okay, onward and upward to the top of the mountain here. Nice day to be out here along the mountain. Good breeze. Well, anyway, I think this is the last one. The last of the drift lines going up the mountain right here. And you can still see that's the big seam, what they called it, the big iron seam. And this is, I think, the uppermost drift line right here. And this one, like the other ones down below, went all the way through the mountain and came out on the other side. And it's just completely collapsed back in there, not like the others. But anyway, nice to see all these old drift mines again. And not much has changed except for a lot of fallen trees from some high winds, I guess, some years ago. But anyway, keep heading up this way. And I think try to find what's called the Sheave pillar guide, where the cable hoist operators sat up here and operated the gravity plane system. If I remember right, I think there's a foundation further up here, but I'll just have to see if I can find it. So, all right, good day to be outside on the mountain. Okay, came over from that direction where the other mines were, and I figured since I'm up here, might as well just move 1,000 feet over and kind of show where the mines that started on the other side. This was actually a mine opening right here, and what the miners did is they stacked up all these rocks right here that you can see, And the other mine opening, of course it's collapsed, would have gone straight through that finger, as it's called. Still going after the ore seam horizontally. But these are long ago forgotten remains of the miners to build this tramway. They just cut this out and they stacked up all these rocks to make it into a retaining wall to stop erosion from the little minecart tracks that would be here, the rails. And you can see how they're stacked up on either side. And we're way up here on the mountain. And you know, this is just a forgotten piece of mining history right here. So, and you can see the other, it's hard to see with the sun, but you can see the other little stacked rock wall there. But the mine opening would have been there, and they would have gone straight on through, even out to the other side, which is about another 900 to 1,000 feet on the other side of that finger, or ridge line. But anyway, it's most likely they pushed them by hand, little mine carts. But some of the other mines down there that were bigger, they might have had mules to pull the mine carts out. They could have put them on the inclined tramway and send them down to the loading dock. But anyway, this is just a little piece of forgotten history of the early days of mining along the mountain, going back to the early 1890s, really. So, all right, and there's several more heading all the way down. It's like a terrace system going all the way down the mountain. So, okay, pretty much on top of the mountain right here, and was able to locate, which is very hard to do. These are almost non-existent anymore, the remains of them. But this right here, it's hard to see in the sun. But this right here, the foundation right there, this is a sheave pillar, if you want to say, for the inclined plane system that the mines used up here, the early days of the mining. And there would be a hoist operator, sheave pillar operator up here, and he would operate the mine cars coming up and down on the cable ropes to a series of mines going all the way down the mountain. And the cable rope was about 1,000 feet long. And the empty mine cars would come up when the loaded mine cars would be going down. They used a gravity operated inclined plane system right here. It was ingenious. A lot of the mines had these along the mountain in the early days of the mining because it was just so economical. They didn't have to worry about steam power or electricity or anything like that. But this is one of the foundations right here. And they probably had a series, you know, of bull wheels or spindles, and it had a system of brakes on it. And whenever the mine cars were coming up, the empty ones, the operator would apply the brakes to the spindle where the hoist cable went around it. And you can actually see some of the big rods right there that held the foundation for the giant bull wheel. And here's another one right here. And these are about 125 years old up here on the mountain. So it's rare to even find one. They're almost just non-existent anymore. But that's one of the rods right there that held the foundation for the machine up here. And it's never seen any photos of it, but most likely it was a giant spindle with a brake system on it, a manual brake, and the operator would be here all day. And he had like a this was covered. They had like a wooden shed over this, you know, to keep the operator out of the elements. But that's the stone foundation right here, and that's one of the early sheave pillar, if you want to call it, sheave pillar type systems right here that was up on the mountain. And there's a low retaining wall going all the way down the mountain where the mine cars were. And there's a series of old drift mine remains. They're all closed, but going all the way down the mountain, and that's the way we're going to go out, is back down this way. So But anyway, nice piece of early mining history. It's pretty, not too much remains of it, but those are the actual rods right there. And it's hard to imagine somebody or one or two people would be up here all day. And like I said, they probably had a little shack right here that kept them out of the elements, because the mines operated in all types of weather, of course. So anyway, be making our way back down this way, and there's a really cool, super long rock retaining wall that the miners built going all the way down the mountain there. So, okay. Okay, this is one of the mines right here. Of course, all these mines are closed, but the opening would have been right there. And you have a stacked rock wall here to protect the minecart rails from erosion. And this is the path that the minecarts would take coming down the cable with the hoist operator way up there on the mountain. And you can see the remains of the rock wall right here. And you can see there's another remains of a rock retaining wall. But you can see, this is the, kind of hard to see in the sun, but the low rock retaining wall goes all the way up the mountain, and it'll continue going down the mountain. So it's just sitting up here forgotten to time. And it was probably built about 125 years ago by the miners. So, all right. And we'll be making our way back down this way. Okay, just continuing to head on down the mountain. So sometimes you come across interesting bits and pieces of history that are just forgotten, and this is one of them. And back when these mines were opened, a miner by the name of E.F. Hill carved his initials name into this section of iron ore, and he was up here in 1898, and those are what he scraped into the rock, and it's still here. 1898. That's pretty amazing. It's kind of hard to see with the sun there, but you can see it. 1898. These guys were up here. So, pretty historic. Alright. And still making our way on back down the mountain. Might be able to see it. That's another long section of that rock retaining wall right there. And the mine would have been right here. And this is where the mine was, right here. So this miner, E.F. Hill, worked up here in 1898, up on this now remote section of the mountain. Of course, it was all remote back then. So, okay. Okay, this is the coming down the bottom section, last of the mines, just hiking around out here to check out. Those were a series of old drift mines right there, and way up there is the top of the mountain, probably about a good 1,000 feet up. So anyway, it's good to come out here and see a lot of these historic mine sites again. You can only access this area in the winter months, because in the summer it's all overgrown, and there are a lot of copperheads around here. So it's just better to do it in the winter months to come see this. So, all right. Good day to be out on the mountain.